Male Fighter of the Year.
Our first award of the night, and listen, this is the Fight Night Picks Prediction Trophy. It's got the Canadian flag all over it, but a lot of these fighters, actually all of these fighters, are not Canadian. You saw the nominees in front of you, but if we can go back through them one more time, we got Kevin Holland, Khamzat Chimaev, we got Gilbert Burns, a guy who's totally redesigned his life at 170 pounds, Brandon Moreno, the assassin baby, and Glover Teixeira. Guys, 5 deserving fighters. We have an honorable mention, Bellator's Jason Jackson. Look at the year that guy had. Capped it off with a great performance over the former UFC lightweight champ, Benson Henderson. It's going to be a recurring theme throughout this awards ceremony. A lot more fights in the UFC than a lot of the other promotions. And of course, all of this hinges on Rising 26 coming up at year's end, December 31st. John Franklin, we have this list of 5. What really sticks out to you out of these 5 deserving candidates here?
I think it's what I kind of touched on earlier. It's guys that you wouldn't have expected to see. You expect to see, Israel Adesanya. You expect to see Kamaru Usman, Conor McGregor, Miocic. And the way the pandemic affected the year, those guys weren't as active. So, we decided who we're going to nominate. Doesn't feel right nominating guys that fought maybe once or even twice in the year. So it just shows you, again, the health of the UFC, the health of MMA. These are the guys that were most active and most productive in 2020.
Now, Matt, I know there's a couple of guys on this list that definitely pull at your heartstrings. And with full disclosure, Fight Night Picks, a very pro Brandon Moreno show. I mean, for the last couple of years, we've been saying Assassin Baby Champ 2020. Now, full disclosure, we picked against him in his last 2 fights, but that's just water under the bridge, capping off having a conversation with the man himself. You're also a big Gilbert Burns guy. Matt, out of all of these fighters that we do have, again, what are some of the sticking points for you?
So it is kind of weird this year because you have fighters who are at different stages of their careers. A lot of the time for Fighter of the Year, you have these young up-and-coming prospects. But like Glover Teixeira is on this list and he's pushing 40 years old. Like you have kind of the resurgence of some careers when you are talking about Glover. And even Gilbert Burns, like before he moved up to 170, I don't think anyone really thought he was ever a title contender or really a threat to become a champion. But now it seems like he's 1 fight away and he has a really good chance against Usman. And then, of course, you have the Kevin Hollands and Khamzat Chimaevs who are more of that on the up and up sort of breed. So a lot of different people you can pick from. A lot of people who could be champ next year too, which is a great sign because you have guys like Brandon Moreno who he's basically promised a title shot at the beginning of next year. Gilbert Burns, the same thing. Chimaev feels like he's always 1 win away. And Kevin Holland has put on a show this whole year. So a lot of really good choices to pick from. And it is neat though how we are seeing people at different stages of their careers still being nominated for this award.
So guys, with that, we will really narrow it down here. I mean, Glover Teixeira really capped off a great year with a wonderful finish over Thiago Santos, the comeback. Brandon Moreno, obviously the draw in his title fight against Davison Figueiredo. You look at Gilbert Burns and the performance that he put on against Tyron Woodley. You look at Khamzat Chimaev, comes in 3 performance bonuses, 3 big finishes. But we have to tip our caps and give away the Fight Night Picks Male Fighter of the Year award to Kevin Holland. And I'm sure that's to no surprise to anybody. I mean, the performances that this guy put on. Now, maybe the level of competition wasn't quite there, but John Franklin, I just want to throw it to you before we move on. He capped it with such a statement win in his last fight over Jacare Souza. What do you see in store for Kevin Holland moving forward?
It's interesting. I mean, we talked about when Matt and I, about when you beat someone like Jacare, do you get the bump because of Jacare's name, or do you keep your level because of where Jacare's at? I think that he's building a nice little career for himself. That is Kevin Holland. I think that he's going to have big things in 2021. I think that he sort of gets close. He probably cracks the top 5. I do not see a title shot for him in 2021 just because of how thick that division is. The only way I could see it is if Adesanya wins the belt and he's gone for good. But other than that, I don't think, and Adesanya's got a lot of things to do. But yeah, it's a great year for Kevin Holland. And listen, one more thing. This guy won about as many ways as you can win him. He had KOs, he had subs, he had 3 performance bonuses. That really is what, when we voted, pushed me over the top. It was just a variety in ways that he had such an interesting year.
And I mean, really, his win over Sideshow Bob, hopefully wherever Charlie Ontiveros is tonight, he's sleeping easy. That was such a tough fight. All right, let's move on to our next category on the evening.